just outside a current deal that we're staging for an investor. Now, this deal is a rent to service accommodation unit, and just for context, it is in an awesome location. It is around a 5-minute walk from the beach. But yeah, I'm just going to take you through it, talk you through the figures, show you what we've got going on here, and yeah, a little update. So we've got back on here, got some stuff to go out there for guests. And then as we come inside here, obviously kitchen's already been fitted because the landlord's fitted it. Got a washer dryer in here, fridge freezer over there. We've got some paintings and stuff like that to go up on the wall there, a mirror, obviously got a desk. This is my work desk today because when you're staging these properties, now it's a bit of a nightmare because you're waiting on deliveries and stuff like that unless you go and get everything yourself. So yeah, but again, I say it's a bit of a nightmare, but once you have these units set up, you know, you're spending very minimal time at the property, if any, if everything's set up right with the right systems. But anyway, get back onto that later on. Yeah, we've got, obviously this is going outside, fireplace, we've got, I think there's a mirror going there, nice little piece there. Got sofas coming here, TV on the wall now, which is nice. Go upstairs. In here we got just a little storage cupboard basically for wash machine? No. Hoover, mop, all them sort of things. Then we've got 2 bedrooms up here, good size. Obviously bedside cabinets are in. We've got 2 zip link beds coming. A little desk. And then we've got the bathroom in here, nice little 3-piece. This property's not, well, it's a great property to be honest. It's not old, it's got some character with it too, which is great. And yeah, this is the 2nd bedroom. 2 beds there, obviously a double, and then we're going to look to have a single here as well, with some other stuff like railings or maybe stuff for the wardrobes or wardrobe in here somewhere. But yeah, this property was sourced by us. We're obviously going to stage it now, and we are potentially going to manage it back end. We're still in discussions with the investor at the moment because they are working. Now, I think they had £15,000 to invest. Now, as you all know, rent to rents you don't need 30k, the massive deposit, mortgage, none of that stuff. As long as you know how to negotiate the right rents, know how to speak to agents, and know location, you can get these deals. You know, anyone can get these deals. But yeah, I'm going to go through the actual figures on this deal now. We're hoping to get this up and running, this unit up and running in the next 2 days. I got a big delivery coming here today. But investor on this deal, just trying to get back on the Wi-Fi. The investor should make, you know, around, on an average, probably about £800 a month. Now, £800 a month is massive, especially if you're someone that's kind of earning, you know, £2,000, £3,000 a month at the moment. If you can add, you know, a rent to your income, having that extra £700, £800, you know, is massive. It can pay for your mortgage, it can pay for holidays, save for a holiday or whatever. I mean, and the good thing with rent to rent is that if you know how to do it correctly with the right systems and the right operations, it can become really hands off, and you know, you can quickly start to scale it, you know, with the right connections. But I'm just going to talk through this little spreadsheet that we've made here. So I don't know how well you can see this. but this is basically a breakdown that we have. So rent, £1,200, this is to the landlord. You can't see that, there it is. £1,200 to the landlord, we've got 5 people staying. This is an average nightly rate of £149. So in this area we have, it's a really tourist area. So in the summer months, on, well, you know, June, July, August, partially September, you can have a nightly rate down here of like £200 to £225. So we've got an average in there of 149. Now, again, all depends on how you're going to market it throughout the year. During the summer months, we're going to want to get high cash flow or high nightly rate. Then throughout the winter months, we may use our profit pricing system and try and get longer term stays, but get, you know, a smaller profit to cover their months, and then again go for the big nightly rate during the summer. But yeah, we've got, this is a breakdown that we've got, yeah, so, you know, we've got 90% occupancy, and this is, you know, achievable rent then across from 50% to 90%. Setup costs, so if you're someone that is really interested in rent to rent, this is what our investors paid. So they've paid a deposit of £1,300. They've also paid £1,100 actually, or £1,200. You get the gist, right? So it's £1,200 on top of that for the rent as well. But what you've got to think of is this deposit is going to be coming back to you at the end of the term. So this term we've got is a yearly rolling term, but we've got really good connections with the agents, and we know that these properties that we take off them, the landlords that they're working with, they're really happy with our service. So we know that we've got it for a year, and it's mainly basically going to be for as long as we want to keep it, because we've got units with them that have been with us for 2 years now. So yeah, that's kind of a mutual agreement that we have. But we've got £1,300 here. We've got £5,000 for furnishing. So that's everything from beds, sofas, dining tables, washing machines or washer dryers, microwaves, fridge freezers, paintings, TVs, TV bracket, outdoor stuff. That's everything in. So we also have a fee in here of £3,000. So this is the sourcing fee that has been charged by us. So if you're someone that learns how to go and get these deals with landlords or estate agents, and you can find an investor and pass this deal on to them for £3,000, do you think you'd be able to, you know, replace your income doing that? If you get in the right rooms around the right people, you can do that easily. But it's, you know, it's not easy. It takes time and it takes effort. But if you're really wanting to go for it, then you can charge £3,000 for a sourcing fee for a rent-to-rent deal. So, but yeah, and another thing, if you learn how to go and do this yourself and you want to take on rent-to-rents, you're going to be missing in that £3,000 too. So with that £3,000 then on top, £1,200 on top of this, so this deal is actually going to cost £10,500 to get into, right? Obviously you're going to get your deposit back, and there's a sourcing fee in there for us finding the deal. So we've got rent to landlord, £1,200. Management fee, this is just obviously 15% of the revenue that we make. Gas and electric, £300. Wi-Fi, £30. Council tax, £300. Button commissions as well. Now, if the investor wanted to manage this themselves at, let me just get there, at 90%, they would make nearly £2,000 a month. if you go all the way down here to 50%, £149 per night, they would make £428. So that's a real good deal, right? Because if you can make, if you can break even at 50%, you're on to a winner there. So we've also got down here managed. So at 15%, if the investor wants us to manage it, at 90%, they'll make £1,300. And at lowest 50%, they'll make £88. Now, this is real life, guys. I'm not just, you see loads of stuff online of deals and it's like, well, at 50%, they're going to make, £900. Now, is that realistic? Probably not. Now, yeah, this is real life. So we've said to the investor that you're typically going to be looking at around £800 profit a month. So, and we're really, really confident with that. So let me try and put this on you, because my arm's aching. But yeah, if you're someone that's looking to get into this, and you're probably thinking, why isn't everyone doing it? It's because it's not fucking easy. It takes time to be able to go and get these deals. It does take work up front. Oh shit, that's gonna go. But yeah, like what you've got to realize, let me just hold this. What you need to realize is that when you're searching for rent-to-rent deals, or you're trying to get rent-to-rent deals with landlords and estate agents, you've got to put in your mind that you are actually helping them, because you're solving a problem. Because there's so many, well, with all the stuff that's coming in now for tenants, obviously being a landlord myself, what goes on, and sometimes you hear of horror stories with tenants. Now, when a company is renting from a landlord, they don't really have as many rights as what a tenant does. So you're basically offering a landlord guaranteed rent for however long you can agree the term, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You're looking after their property, because it's got to be in tip-top condition, because you've got people coming to stay all the time. You've got cleaners coming in and out, as I mentioned. So the property's got to be in pristine condition. If you're working with an estate agent and they come and check up on the property often, these properties are going to be much better looked after than what just a normal tenant will. So if you can understand that you're actually solving a problem here for people as well, you're going to do really well. But yeah, as I mentioned, if you're someone that's watching this video and you've got, you're making £2,000-3,000 a month, and you want to get into this sort of thing, but you're not willing to put the work in, it's going to be really difficult for you to go do well, because it's the same as anything, right? There's no guarantees. But if you have the right systems in place, to negotiate the right rent, and you can be in a position where you've got 2, 3, 4 hours a week, because that's the thing with these properties. Once you set them up once, now this property probably took us all in all about 6 weeks to find. By finding it, negotiating with the landlord and the estate agent, then getting everything set up, and by the time now that we get everything staged, that'll be 6 weeks all in. So if you've got 6 weeks to front to go and do these sort of deals, and we've got 20 units at the moment now, right? That's with rent-to-rent and management. So I would say with 20 units, we spend about an hour and a half a week on playing with our listings and upkeeping everything, checking up and everything. Obviously, we're in a bit of a different position now because we've got some virtual assistants working for us as well. But once you have these units set up and you've got the right systems, right team around you, you're not going to need to go to the unit, really, if everything's done properly. So if you're working, 12 hours a day, or you're working overtime, and you think that, or you know that having an extra £800 a month is going to be awesome for you, then this is something that I would say for you to go and do, because yeah, it's going to cost you furnishing deposit, or listen, if you can negotiate the rent, or not the rent, the deposit, if you can negotiate the deposit and have potentially a grace period, then you're going to miss that payment as well. So it's going to be, you're going to source it to yourself, you're going to take it on. So now you may find something that's furnished. Now this property is not furnished, so that's why it's cost us £5,000 to furnish it all. But if you can get into these deals if you find the right deal for £3,000 tops, really. If you can negotiate the deposit off or grace period, if you can find a property that's furnished, you can go and there's going to be little things you're going to need to add, obviously. But this deal is probably, well, it's one of the most expensive deals that we've done, because a lot of the properties that we've taken on have been furnished too. So obviously it depends on standard, and you're going to need to add some stuff in. But we've had to buy absolutely everything for this deal. So yeah, 3,000 sourcing fee. We've obviously staged it 5,000. You got deposit and you got the rent up front too. Now we've tried to get a grace period, but because this agent is kind of bringing us loads of deals, we're in a position where it's like, okay, we don't mind not paying a grace period, only because they're passing us so many deals. But if you can do exactly or replicate what I've done, where you've got an agent or a landlord that's got 50 properties where they want to start passing you more and more deals, that if you don't want to take them on, you can sell them. But if you want to take them on, then, and you can make on average anything from £600 to £1,000 profit on each property, how many of them do you need to actually leave your job? Or if you're working overtime, it's so easy to replace your income with rent to rent. Now, everyone knows as well that I'm into ownership, and I believe that ownership is awesome and needs to be done if you can straight away. If not, build a cash flow business. Build the cash and then look to get into BRRRs, buy-to-lets, or whatever you want to get into. But if you're working at the moment, do you think that £800 would make a massive difference to you? And how many of them are you going to need to replace your income? Now, loads of people also talk about obviously getting the initial setup. It's another skill, is being able to position yourself around people and investors where they can put the money in and you can give them a return from the profits. And then after however many months when you've paid them back, you keep the rent-to-rent deal. And then you can keep the profits yourself, or you can JV with someone else. But there's loads of things, guys. And if you're looking to get started, click the link in my bio. We can have a chat there. And yeah, hopefully you've got some value from this video. It's not all the time that I'm in rent-to-rent deals, because we're probably selling around one a month at the moment. So yeah, I had some time this morning, thought I'd jump on and talk to you about figures, and yeah, I shall see you in the next one.